What is up, YouTube? Today I'm riding at 5 Mile Pass. It's really close to my house. And check out this sick hill climb. It was really fun to climb. I always hit this hill a couple times every time I come out here. It gets kind of washed out when it gets wet, and today it's raining. It rained on me, and actually as I climbed elevation it started to snow a little bit. But I really like riding out here, one, because it's really close to my house, and two, on this ride specifically, I found that there's actually some pretty cool stuff to kind of practice my trial skills, or my enduro skills, I guess. Found some cool rocky trails. And I think if I go back and explore a little bit more, I'll find a lot more rocky stuff, kind of like what you're looking at here, to practice get a little bit better at enduro type stuff. So I used to not really love this area because I just kind of got bored of it. It's just a lot of like Jeep roads, but then I found some kind of rocky stuff, and I think if I come back here and kind of practice and explore, I'll find some really good trails. Right here's a really good example. There's this cool rock wall. It was wet, so I didn't even try it, but I think in drier conditions with some better tires, I could give that a shot one of these days and kind of practice going up rock faces like that. It was a really cool trial spot, but I went around it this time. After going around the rock wall, I dropped back down into the little ravine and go up this really rocky path. And yeah, looking back at the video footage, it's actually pretty cool stuff, and it was fun to ride, and it was good practice for me to practice going over like bigger rocky stuff, and you kind of hone in on that skill as I shifted in neutral right here. Rookie mistake. But yeah, just watch and enjoy as I kind of explore this rocky stuff. So like I said before, I definitely want to improve my skill on like the rocky stuff, for just like, I kind of like the enduro type riding, so I want to get better at it. And looking back at the footage, I'm like bummed about, I mean, I chose the easier line, right? Like that's your instinct, is to just take the easier line every time. But I could have just, made it harder on myself and chose the harder lines just to practice. So next time I go back, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm just, instead of looking for the easier line, which is your instinct, I'm going to like choose the harder line and kind of go for that to improve my skill level. Arms! Oh my goodness. Oh, they're on fire. Whew. then I chose to go around this rock feature here because it was wet, and I just have like a pretty hard compound motocross tire on, and I'm gonna try and get a gummy tire so that I can do stuff like this a little bit easier. But I definitely want to go back when it's dry and try this spot again, because that was a cool feature that I would like to try to pop up. This is why I keep whining about it being wet. Even on this little tiny, I mean, the lip was only like a few inches high, but my back tire just slid right out because it was so wet. I had no traction, so I ended up rolling back, leaning the bike up against some rocks, stacking a couple rocks here so that I could pop my back wheel up and getting another run at it. This is what I was talking about before, how this whole area just feels like it's just a bunch of boring Jeep roads like this. You gotta look a little bit closer for those cool rocky ravines and rough terrain to ride the motorcycle in. But I just included this because the view was so cool. Also here you may notice the camera angle is different. I switched to a chest mount instead of having the camera on my helmet just to test it out. Kind of like how it turned out, except for when I stand up and I look down, it's like you can't really see the trail ahead. So I don't know what I like more. I'd like to hear in the comments for those of you who are watching how you guys mount your cameras for the coolest view. But yeah, I kind of like this chest mount. It's pretty good overall. I like it.
Oh my goodness.
Came down that hill just a little too much speed and almost slid right off the road into this ditch right here. Then ultimately I decided to just ride off into the ditch anyway, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered too much. That's pretty much the end of this one, guys, but thank you so much for watching, if you did. And I know these videos aren't super good yet. I'm just kind of experimenting, learning as I go, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and thanks again for watching.